Hello and welcome to this week's video. My name is Anuska Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It makes such a difference to getting my videos out to more people, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So on today's video, I want to talk about this idea of presence and why it matters for you as a speaker, not only in how you show up in speaking engagements, but also how people will respond to you as well. So it's sort of both sides of the coin. So I think being present is such a challenge for most people. We're bombarded with messages and videos and reels and emails, and it's just constant. If you want it to be constant, I was thinking to myself yesterday, I could just spend all day on Instagram looking at people's stories if I wanted to. So it's very easy for us to distract ourselves if we want to, let alone then you add to the mix family and work and everything else that you've got going on, let alone just social media. So we are really bombarded now, which means often we are multitasking, which in a sense is a good thing because it makes more efficient use of our time. But it becomes a problem when it's really hindering us and hindering our ability to really connect with other people, which I really think it does. So I want to talk about this idea, first of all, around actually how it impacts your voice when you're not really present with people, which kind of might seem like, what's that got to do with the price of cheese? But it really does impact your voice. So if you are someone that's very easily distracted, and we all do this, I mean, I'm not perfect with this either at all, but I guess some people struggle with this more than others. So do you find yourself having a conversation with someone while you're simultaneously maybe scrolling on social media, writing an email, sending a text, researching something on Google? Like, are you not really present when you're having conversations with people because you're doing something else? Are you maybe having a conversation with someone, but you interrupt them because you think you know what they're going to say anyway, so you just finish their sentence for them, and you're not really engaged, you're not really listening, you're not really giving them that space? Or maybe you are someone who is thinking about what you want to say while the person is speaking. I know I have been guilty of that. It's something that I have to catch myself when someone's talking to me, particularly when I'm working with a new client and they're talking to me about what's going on, and I'm thinking, right, I must remember to say that to them, or I must remember to ask them that in the conversation that we're having. So it's something that we all do, but the truth is, when we're doing that, we're not really listening to the person, we're not really present, we're not really holding space for them. And that's what we really want as human beings. All any of us really want is to be heard. But then we also have a fear around being heard. So there's this kind of conflict in most of us that we really desire to be heard, but we also fear being heard. So when we struggle to really be present with other people, what you're going to find is it's going to impact how you then show up in a public speaking scenario, in a conversation with your partner, with your family, with your boss, with whoever. Because on some level, if you don't really listen to people, if you're not really fully present with other people, you are going to assume, probably unconsciously, that people aren't going to listen to you either. There's going to be almost an assumption on some level that no one's going to listen to you. And how this shows up in the voice is so profound, and it depends on your conditioning, it depends on the messaging that you've got around this and how you've learned to sort of navigate this. For some people, when they don't feel like people are listening, they will get very loud, they will talk over people, they will dominate conversations, they can be very aggressive, and there's almost a sense of, I'm going to make you listen to me. You know, I'm not even going to give you an opportunity to speak. I can think of some really famous people in mind at the moment that do this, and they almost come across like a bully. They just talk over people. They don't give people space to really finish their thoughts, to finish their ideas. So there's almost like a bullish, kind of slightly aggressive quality to that. And the voice is often very domineering and very loud. So as I say, the idea with this is, I'm going to make you listen to me. because on some level, I fear that you won't listen to me. So underneath all of this is, of course, fear of not being heard, but it comes out, the ego's way of coping with this is I'm just going to force you to listen to me. Now, for some people, that also might come out as speaking really fast, because if I speak really fast and I speak really loud, then you don't get an opportunity to even speak and say what you think. But conversely, the other side of the coin is if you don't feel people are going to listen to you, you don't feel heard, you might just not even bother. It's like the learned helplessness. So you speak really fast, it's almost from a different perspective. So the people that speak really fast that are going to make people listen, it's so that they can't get a word in edgeways. A lot of people, I think, speak really fast because they actually just want to get the limelight off them really quickly. They're very uncomfortable sharing their thoughts, their feelings and ideas. So if I just speak really fast, we move on to the next person and someone else can have the light on them. So you've got to sort of really become very self-aware here. Like, where do I fall on these sides of the coin? It's the same coin. It's the coin of I don't feel heard. I don't feel people are interested in me. It just shows up differently. The other way, of course, is not only speaking fast, but also if you just have a very meek, mild, quiet voice. So it's like, I don't really want people to listen to me. I just want to get this over and done with as quickly as possible. So I'm just going to mumble really quickly. I'm just going to talk really quietly. No one can really hear me. And then let's move on to the next person. So either way, we're not really present. We're not really present with ourselves. And we're not really present with other people because we're not really giving people an opportunity to connect with us. And we're either bulldozing our way through a conversation or we're completely retreating and hiding. But either way, we're not really opening our heart. We're not really sharing ourselves with other people. So it has a profound impact on our voice. Another part of this as well is when we aren't present with other people, because everything's a mirror, it means we're not really present with ourselves. So we're usually very in our head. And I see this a lot with people in the public speaking space, particularly when people have a fear, which is most people to a greater or lesser extent, have a fear of public speaking, that they're completely in their head. They're so worried about what people are thinking, and they're so disconnected to their own heart, to their own body. So it's all one of the same thing. When you aren't present with other people, it's because you're not really present with yourself. It's two sides of the same coin. But you're really cutting off half of your power. You're cutting off your ability to really connect with other people and allow them to connect to you. Because if you are someone that just bulldozes your way through a conversation, you are really ensuring that no one can really connect with you. And equally, if you never allow yourself the space to share your thoughts and feelings and ideas, and you just rush through, or you speak really quietly, or you mumble, you're really ensuring again that no one can really connect. So there's this real fear of connection. There's this real fear of being heard and sharing our voice with other people. And that's what it really comes down to. And that's why I say a lot of my work is really at the deepest level, whatever the persona shows, it's really a fear of being heard. It's really a fear of being present. Because actually, when we're present, it's very vulnerable. When we're present with ourselves, when we're present with other people, there is nowhere to hide. When we are distracted, when we are on social media and having a conversation, or we're thinking about something else where someone's speaking to us, we're really ensuring that we never fully connect with another person. And that is actually our deepest fear, ironically. From the ego, our deepest fear is truly deeply connecting with another person. And so presence is the first step towards that. But from my perspective, as I say, as a voice coach, this absolutely impacts your voice. And you are going to be far more effective, far more impactful, and far more powerful the more you can connect to yourself, the more you can be present with other people. So the more you can be present with yourself, the more you can be present with other people, the more it's going to translate into your voice. You are going to show up in a very different way, and people are going to want to connect with you. They're going to want to listen to you. But as I said, that is our biggest fear, actually really being heard. So I just challenge you over the next sort of week just to start to notice, how present am I with other people? How present am I with myself? Do I try and run away from feelings in my body? Do I stay in my head as a way of distracting myself? Can I be present when I'm in a public speaking situation? Or even I'm just talking to my partner, or I'm having to have a challenging conversation with someone. Can I be present with those uncomfortable feelings that will arise in my body? Maybe I'll feel really anxious or really nervous. My heart will be going. I might have butterflies in my stomach. My throat might feel really tight. But can I be really present with myself and allow myself to feel those feelings versus being in my head and distracting and projecting everything outside of me? But then can I also be present with other people when I'm having a conversation? And I promise you, it will transform your relationships with other people. And ironically, you will feel safer then to express yourself. You will feel safer to share your vulnerabilities with other people. So that's my thought for today. And let me know if this resonates with you in the comments. I would love to know. If you are interested in this much deeper approach to voice coaching, where we're looking not only at the physical kind of symptoms that manifest, speaking fast, very common, mumbling, weak, quiet voice, or a really loud, strained voice, a nasal voice, running out of breath, whatever it is for you, they're the symptoms. But we're also looking at the cause. Why do you really fear being heard? And I promise you, it's always coming back to that in some shape or form. So this is the first step. Just how can I be more present with myself and more present with other people? Thank you so much. If you are interested in learning more, there's all the links below. You can book a consult with me. You can book a Reclaim Your Voice session if you want to have a direct experience of my coaching. I've also got some online courses, which is the cheapest way you can work with me indirectly. Or of course, you've got these videos for free. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button if you enjoyed today's video, share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you next week.